A repair technician in Sacramento received a replacement iPhone screen directly from Apple's own service program. Genuine Apple part. He installed it. The phone immediately displayed a permanent notification. Unable to verify this iPhone has a genuine Apple display. He called Apple support. They confirmed the part was authentic. They told him the pairing code had expired during shipping. His only option? Pay $279 for the Apple Store to install the exact same part with a working code. That is not quality control. That is revenue enforcement. Stay with me, because I found something in Apple's own FTC testimony that their PR team tried to have redacted. I'll show you exactly what it says at the 7-minute mark. Every component inside your iPhone, the screen, the battery, the Face ID sensor, the camera, even the True Tone display calibration, carries an encrypted serial number tied to your specific device's motherboard. When you replace that part, the phone checks the new component's serial against a pairing database Apple controls. If the code doesn't match, your phone flags the part as non-genuine. Not because it isn't genuine, because Apple didn't authorize the replacement. This system didn't appear overnight. In 2011, Apple began locking battery diagnostic data behind a proprietary connector. In 2013, the original Touch ID sensor became the first parts-paired component. In 2016, iOS 9.3.4 shipped with Error 53, a software update that permanently bricked phones repaired by unauthorized shops. Apple was sued. They lost. They reversed a brick. They kept the pairing. By 2018, parts pairing covered Face ID, the rear camera, the display, and the NFC chip. By 2021, even battery replacements by independent shops triggered permanent health warnings, even when using cells from Apple's own suppliers. Here's what the parts cost Apple. A lithium-ion battery cell, $3.20. Apple's out-of-warranty battery replacement, $99. That's a 2,993% markup. A genuine OLED panel at Apple's Foxconn supply price, $12.40. Apple Store screen repair, $279. That's a 2,151% markup. Apple can make devices that allow independent repair. They do it in the EU, where the Digital Markets Act created legal consequences. In the United States, they have chosen not to. And that choice was lobbied for, aggressively, expensively. But the parts pricing is just the cover story. The real operation is what they spent $3.2 billion on, and it happened in places most people never look. Between 2017 and 2023, Apple spent $3.2 billion on lobbying across the United States. That number appears in Open Secret's federal disclosure data and supplementary state-level filings. Right-to-repair bills appeared in all 50 states during that period. Apple sent representatives to testify against each one. California's Right-to-Repair Bill, SB 244, went through 11 revisions over 7 years. Apple testified at 9 of them. Their core argument, repeated across dozens of hearings, allowing independent repair creates significant security risks for consumers. The FTC reviewed Apple's security argument in 2021. Their conclusion, in a 73-page report, was direct. The claimed security risks were not supported by evidence. Independent repair does not increase device vulnerability. Parts pairing does not improve security. The FTC called it an anti-competitive practice. The federal legislation has not passed. In 2023, independent repair shops in the United States generated $4.9 billion less revenue than in 2019. Not because demand fell. Smartphone prices rose 34% over the same period. Demand for repair increased. Revenue fell because Apple's parts pairing system made independent repair economically impossible for newer devices. The independent shop near you, the one that fixed your screen for $65, is closing. Apple's authorized service program requires $1,200 annual fees, proprietary diagnostic software, and compliance audits. Most shops don't qualify. Most don't survive. This was the intended outcome, not a side effect. I want to show you exactly how far they went to make it happen. In 2016, iOS 9.3.4 shipped with a hidden validation check. If the Touch ID sensor had ever been replaced by an unauthorized shop, the phone returned Error 53, a permanent, unrecoverable brick. No warning, no reversal option. The phone became a $600 paperweight. 43,000 people reported affected devices. Apple's initial response? working as intended. Their official statement read that Error 53 was a security feature designed to protect our customers. 3 weeks later, under threat of class action in 5 countries, Apple released a patch that restored the phones. They stated the feature had been released in error. They kept the pairing system, they removed the irreversible brick, they kept everything else. Stop. That number. 43,000 devices. Apple called that working as intended. In 2023, Apple testified before the FTC in an open hearing on repair restrictions. An Apple senior engineer was asked directly, "Does parts pairing improve device security?" His response? "It maintains the integrity of the device experience. Not security, experience." The FTC attorney asked follow-up, "Does replacing an Apple-sourced screen with an Apple-sourced screen improve or degrade device security?" The engineer declined to answer. That exchange is in the public hearing transcript. Apple's PR team submitted a written request to have 2 paragraphs of that testimony designated confidential business information. The FTC denied the request. Let me show you what those 2 paragraphs say. Here's what's in paragraph 7 of Apple's 2023 FTC testimony, the section they tried to have redacted. The Apple engineer was asked whether the company had analyzed the revenue impact of independent repair access. He confirmed they had. He confirmed the analysis was conducted in 2017, the same year parts pairing was extended to Face ID and camera components. He confirmed the analysis showed that Apple Store service revenue increased by 34% in the 2 years following full parts pairing implementation. That is not a security review. That is a revenue analysis. The expansion of parts pairing correlated with a 34% increase in Apple service revenue. That correlation is in Apple's own internal documents, confirmed under oath before the FTC. Remember the technician in Sacramento? Genuine Apple screen. Flagged as non-genuine. $279 repair. Apple's cost for that screen? $12.40. Revenue recognized? $279. Margin? 2,151%. That times millions of repairs per year is a business line Apple has built by making it illegal to compete with them and spending $3.2 billion to keep it that way. I have to be straight with you because this matters for what I'm about to tell you. California's SB 244 covers devices sold after July 2021. Older devices don't qualify. If you're outside California, no federal equivalent currently exists. That changes your options. But if you have a recent device, here's what you can actually do. Under California SB 244, manufacturers of devices sold after July 2021 must make genuine parts, tools, and documentation available to independent repair shops and individual consumers for 7 years. Apple has complied. Partially. Parts are available through Apple's self-service repair portal. 4 rules. First, use iFixit's repair shop directory, the only publicly vetted list. Any certified shop can access genuine parts and perform repairs that don't void your warranty on non-covered components under SB 244. Second, if you're in California with a post-July 2021 device, Apple must honor warranty claims, even if an independent shop repaired a non-covered component. They won't advertise this. It's in the law. Third, replace your battery yourself. Apple's self-service repair program launched in 2022. Deliberately clunky, 79-pound toolkit rental, but the battery repair costs $69 in parts versus $99 at an Apple store. The pairing code works when you use Apple's own portal. Fourth, the phones that don't do this. Framework Laptop 16, Fairphone 5, TerraCube 2E. These manufacturers publish full repair documentation, sell individual components, and don't use parts pairing. They cost $400 to $700. You own them. If you watch this far, you now know something Apple's lobbying budget exists to keep quiet. That information costs them money every time it spreads. Open your last Apple repair receipt. Find the parts line item. Divide it by 10. That's their cost. Share the ratio. Next week, I'm going to show you the math Samsung's marketing team does not want you to run on your own phone upgrade cycle. See you then.